Hello everyone, my name is Inco, and this is Showcase, a series in which I bring to your attention a particular mod or game or anything really that has caught my eye. And tonight I am playing Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence. This is a re-release, a Western re-release of a 2013 game of the same name, which was surprisingly an in-depth strategy game on PlayStation. I didn't really realize that that was a platform you'd push a game like this out on, but nevertheless, I have no prior knowledge of this series. Apparently this is the 13th / technically 14th title in the series, and I've never heard of this game. Primarily because I don't live in Japan, probably. This game is released by Koei-Tecmo, who is also responsible for other series like Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms, etc. Dead or Alive as well, I believe. So some bigger names. So again, I'm quite surprised I never heard of this game. I did see it on Steam a couple weeks ago, and it kind of caught my eye actually because of some of the features showcased. It released on the 1st of September, and there is actually a deal going on. If you get it before the 8th of September, there is a discount, and in addition, you will get some additional DLC, some scenarios or whatever. That you can see up in the top left here. 3 of these scenarios will come with that. Right now, regular price is 67 Canadian, which I think is 55 US dollars. But like I said, if you get it with the discount, it is $10 off, so that's not too bad at all. But anyway, we should just jump right in here. So this is the campaign selection map for Sphere of Influence, and it's kind of interesting right off the bat because it's like an EU4 Crusader Kings 2 situation where you can kind of dive through time and choose any of these clans, and you can see the evolution, the rise and fall of the Odo clan, for example. There it is at its zenith, and then boom. It just fucking crashes with the death of Oda Nobunaga. Actually, no, we should choose a scenario. I think we'll go with just the first scenario, which starts in 5034. The last one is in 1600. This one is technically the last one, but it is also fictional, so it's technically not within the realm of historical strategy like this game is. So the game spans historically from 1534 to 1600, and that's where we'll begin, 1534. Boom. So now we can choose any of these clans, and that's pretty great, but the greatest part about it actually is each of these clans, as far as I know, every clan I've chosen has like a unique scripted quest line, like a historical quest line, so you will follow the actual historical actions of that clan, which you can choose to follow or you can choose not to, and then you've got like cutscenes between the important characters within your clan. This clan is particularly good. Look at this guy, Tomonaga Namioka. Oh, those eyebrows are fucking killer. Look at that, my god. And then we have this fellow. He looks like this guy of the Uchi clan. Looks to be a great war leader. Can you imagine facing that face on the battlefield? Everyone would rout immediately just because not only do you have pencil-thin eyebrows, but also a pencil-thin mustache to just balance the whole thing out. So you'll see what I'm talking about later on. I think we'll start with the Takeda clan because they are great horsemen. Now, you can completely customize your scenario if you wish. We'll just start on the normal difficulty because I actually haven't played this game much. It came out on the 1st of September. It is now the 3rd, so I haven't had a huge amount of time with it yet, but everything I've seen so far I'm fairly impressed with. So we'll just dive in. It plays more like a Paradox game than, say, like a Total War. Even though there is battles in this game, they're not like a central feature, I wouldn't say. Okay, so we can even further customize the scenario. We'll have historical quests on. Created officers, not exactly sure what that is. I think you can basically edit and create historical figures, as it were, or fictional figures, and place them in a historical setting, actually. We haven't actually created any, so that's off, obviously. Quests are on. Events, we will have historical events, because we can't actually turn them off. Lifespan, we can have the officer's lifespan be historical, a little bit longer, or indefinite, which is crazy. Can you imagine this guy over here just living till the end of time? Becomes like a living god with crazy ass eyebrows. I don't know. I wouldn't want that. Anyway, battle deaths occur. I'm not exactly what this means, but I think it would probably mean that your characters can actually die in battle. We want that on, of course. Fictional maidens. Not really sure. I think this will generate random female nobles, perhaps. Officer names. Not exactly sure what officer names are. The problem with this is it's most definitely a Japanese game. If you can't tell with just like this, I think the font is like the dead giveaway. I fucking love that. When you turn on a Japanese game, the font, you just immediately tell that it's a Japanese game. The UI as well kind of tells you that. So there's some things that aren't really explicitly stated, and officer name is not one of them, because we do actually have a little tooltip at the bottom here. About true names. Officers will be referred to by their true names during play, but by their common names in historical quests and events. What true names mean, I don't really know. What common names mean, I couldn't tell you either. There is an in-game wiki, but that more pertains to actual gameplay elements rather than stuff like officer names, so it's kind of not good. Maiden officers, we will have in-game edit. Why the hell not? Okay. Alright, so we are playing as the Takeda clan, led by Nobutora Takeda in 1534 June. We have 1 castle, 2 fortresses, 11 officers, and then all of this stuff we just took a look at, or I guess. So we may as well just go on here. Oh, look at that. Kujura Katakura. Okay, so first off, just be aware that I live in Canada, so I'm not going to be the best at pronouncing these Japanese names. My poor Western tongue will not be the greatest at it. But anyway, this is what I was talking about. I'm fairly certain every clan has this stuff going on. A little blurb about history. You get some dialogue between your characters to set the scene. It's fucking wonderful. Like it looks like it might inject a bit of uniqueness into every one of your game plays if you play a different clan or whatever. Okay, to begin, the Takeda clan ruled the land of Kai, and Nobutora Takeda ruled the Takeda. Who'd thunk? He constructed Tsutsu Jigasaki. That's one of... I'm already regretting playing the Takeda, actually. Well, okay, he constructed Tsutsu Jigasaki Palace and made his towns thrive within and expanded his territory through vigorous military excursions without. The music is just fucking cinematic as hell. However, the mass of enemies he had made in recent years were giving him trouble. To the south were the mighty Hojo of Sagami, and to the west were their relatives, the Imagawa. To the north was the Suwa clan, drawing blood from the priests of Suwa Shrine and commanding their people's awe and respect. All 3 forces wished for Nobutora's demise. Okay, so we're beset on all sides by enemies immediately. Okay, we got a bit of dialogue here. Nobutora Takeda, of course, our daimyo. Grr, that blasted Ujitsuna. He interferes with every one of my endeavors. And then we've got Nobukata Irigaki, one of our retainers, apparently. He's got a very stern face. I love it. Ujitsuna possesses an expansive territory that boasts rich agriculture and commerce. With our forces as they are now, I'd say we should not... Silence! You think I don't know that? Right now, we have too many foes. And then we've got Toriyasu Amari, who's gone for a kind of a weird haircut here. He shaved the top and just left the sideburns to grow into the middle, and they meet in the middle. I don't even know. He's got like this massive horseshoe going on, and also a ponytail to top it off. This just screams Dynasty Warriors to me, but perhaps that's just me. Anyway, then shall we form a truce with the Hojo? Nonsense. Joining hands with Ujitsuna is something I cannot do. There's only one option. We must make peace with the Suwa. But, my lord, the Suwa are not exactly known for their strength. Thank you, Toriyasu. Actually, that's not what's at stake here. While the Suwa don't have the strongest soldiers and would likely lose should we go to battle with them, the clan commands absolute fear and respect from their people. The people of the Suwa would never bow to us. Exactly. So first, we make peace with the Suwa and prepare for war with Ujitsuna. Nubakata, get a messenger out to them. And then I guess our daimyos just walked out of the room. Peace with the Suwa is great and all, but are we truly going to keep fighting with the Hojo? Lord Nobutora's hatred of Ujitsuna certainly is a handful, and while I must admit that Sagami and Kanto are really fetching lands, by all rights, we need to capture Shinano first. Just why does Lord Nobutora hate Ujitsuna that much anyway? It's not that he hates Ujitsuna. Lord Nobutora, he hates everyone who stands above him. Well, he really is proud. Indeed, and while that's fine for being a leader, I just wish he'd think a little more about the future of our clan. So apparently, Takeda is a bit of a hothead, which is just fine because I think that's a playstyle I could really get into. Nobutora Takeda's mind for military matters was unmistakable, gaining him sturdy trust of his retainers. However, his lust for battle was far too great. Each battle he undertook simply added more weight to the burden on his retainers and people. Oh, very well, very well. Okay, so we've immediately started with a quest here. These quests are given to you to kind of guide your campaign. You can follow these quests if you want, and basically you will replicate the historical actions of your clan. Like I said, you can decline or choose to do them, but if you decline them, it will then prevent other quests from firing in the future. So we'll probably just accept all these quests. So the first quest we have is Peace with the Sua, increasing his influence and making enemies of the We shall seek peace. Proceed. We have to bring the Sua's clan's reliance to 60. That's a number we'll get to in a minute. I don't really want to have to explain absolutely everything to you guys, so I'm probably just going to play and explain some stuff, because there's honestly just a lot in the game, so I don't want to spend, half hour just explaining every feature without actually playing. So, this is our kingdom. We've got one palace, one castle, and 2 fortresses. Each of them has, you can develop the territory around them, so it's pretty good to have a few. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is we'll get our quest underway, meaning we should do some diplomacy. I'm still learning the UI. There's just a huge amount of stuff, as you can see. So the first thing we want to do is some diplomacy. So we'll click this. The Sua clan is right here. And so that number we were talking about, 60. You can see on the left there's this box here of required trust to have these agreements, and we want 60 for a 6-month alliance. The number next to this really firm yellow handshake here is 0, so we got to get that 0 all the way to 60. And to do that, we need to appoint an agent, a retainer. And the most important stat to do this with is intelligence, it seems. But there's also trust up, which I think that speeds the growth of trust. So we'll actually send our daimyo, Nubatora, up there, which will increase the trust by 11 points per month. So we are gunning for 60, so it's going to take about 6 months. Also, the cost is 600 gold per month. That's something that we can deal with. Yes, so that's all the diplomacy we have to do for now. I suppose we should take a look at the resources. There are currently 6 resources in the game, technically 7. The first is gold, which is produced by your financial districts in your cities. The second is supplies, aka food, and rice, which is obviously reaped from your farms. We've got horses as well as muskets/guns, which can be bought and sold, and they will help your troops be more efficient in battle. Basically, if you equip your soldiers with horses, they will then be able to charge in battle. If you equip them with guns, they will then be able to use a volley in battle. In addition, there is another currency, I guess, resource called innovation. I'm not exactly sure what this does yet. I haven't gotten to that point in the game. And also labor, which we will use to develop our towns. So this is just fucking great. This is the kind of stuff that really caught my eye. You actually have to develop the land around your castles and towns to improve your the size of your armies, your finance, and everything, and then you will obviously march and capture other territories and other stuff. But to me, it seems like you'll spend most of your time playing in the campaign map, and the battle map will probably be less of a concern. Something that's really interesting to me is, well, we can't actually do that right now. I was going to show you districts. Each town/castle has districts. So I've got one agricultural district, a commercial district, a military district, and then finally another agricultural district. And we can expand to a further, I think there's 8 districts all around here, so you can just spend a ton of time tweaking your towns and your castles and just going fucking nuts with civil development. But we need to start developing our main town right now by the name of, I'll just call it Tsutsu Jigasaki, because I can't pronounce that very well. The Lord is Nubatora, of course, but we also have an Overseer. An Overseer will do the development of our towns, and I suppose we should take a look at that as well. Our Overseer is Kohokusai Komai, and he has a POL policy, political skill of 84. So that's the most important skill, and he is actually the best in the land. So that's perfectly fine. We want him to do our development. So he's saying, our people are toiling in the rice fields, my liege. How about focusing on agriculture this month? So we can actually increase either our crop yield, our gold income, or we can increase housing for conscripts, which will increase our max soldiers. You can see a red bar here. That is the max amount of conscripts we can get, and basically this represents the amount of soldiers you have versus the amount of crops you reap. So if I was to upgrade crops, you can see the bar shrinks because obviously we have more food to feed our soldiers. So since Kamai is asking that we increase our harvest, that's what we'll do. There we are. So we've got 2 castles as well. We've got Nakano and Fuji Yoshida. In Nakano, we've got Toratan Hara. Hara, who is also the overseer because he is the only officer in the place. And this isn't that great because he has a really low POL skill. So what we have to do is send another officer from our main town to act as his overseer, or just replace him outright. But we probably want a strong military leader just in case we get attacked. Likewise in Fuji Yoshida, we've got Toramasa over here, and he also has a mediocre POL skill. So we'll send 2 officers to act as overseers. Not the one we want this. There we go. Okay, we want destination to be Kano and Tsutsu, and we will give Hara, we'll give him an okay overseer. We don't want to give him the best ones because we want those guys to kick around our base. I think what we'll do, we'll assign, let's say, Toriyasu Amari, the guy with the sweet horseshoe haircut. We'll send him. There he goes. There he is. I shall be on my way to Nakano Castle. Great. I should mention as well that the game has a kind of weird turn system. So basically, what they call council is a paused format where you just issue orders, and then when you end your turn, all the orders will play out, but you can actually speed up or pause that mode and, you know, issue battle orders and stuff like that. We'll get to that later. Right now, we need to send another overseer to Fuji Yoshida, and we'll send him, I'm thinking, we need someone that's significantly better than Obu to make it worthwhile. So maybe we'll send Baba. We'll send Baba as the overseer. There we are. There he goes. He's got a sweet overcoat, which is very nice, and also his hand is on his katana and it's halfway drawn, so he's just ready for action. So while those guys aren't actually there yet, we have to end the turn, and they will get there before the month is over. But for now, we need to get Obu to develop the town, and he's asking for conscripts, so we'll do that. You can see that the boost isn't nearly as much as in Tsutsu because he's not a very good overseer. Likewise in Nakano, this guy's also asking for soldiers, and he just he boosts it a really small amount. So you can see here that the cost of increasing, you know, developing civic stuff is 2 labor, which replenishes per month, and also 100 gold, which likewise replenishes per month, but that is tied to labor is tied to population, and gold is obviously tied to income, so that's that. We have 2 labor left over, which we can't actually use to do anything. We have all these options here, which we'll get to next turn. We've done some diplomacy. We can also give a treasure to some certain factions if we wanted, but we don't need to do that, really. We can also conduct diplomacy and negotiations with the Imperial Court. So what this means is that we can gain ranks for ourselves and our retainers and do a bit of diplomacy with, I guess, the lords of Japan, as it were. Now, in addition to our castles, there are also little tribes in our lands. We've got the Yunoku tribe here, the Anayama tribe, Kamid tribe, Oyamada, Nirosaki tribe, and basically, if you keep, they act kind of like city-states in Civilization 5. If they're happy with you, they do a certain thing. For example, the Oyamada tribe will give us a certain number of horses every March, which is just fine, but their support has to be up. And apparently there is a tribe that is not supporting of us, so we have to appease them. For example, the Yunoku tribe here is not very pleased. But also, if we have the support of these clans, they will join us when we march to war. So it's best to, gain the support of these tribes before we march. And especially this tribe. We have to assign a retainer to please these guys. And I think Jokian, I don't know how to pronounce that double I. That trips me up. Anyway, we'll send her. and she will increase the ratio a huge amount. It will also cost us 300 gold, but that's just fine. There we go. So these guys are particularly impressive because if I could select them, there we go. When attacking a castle, they will send a group of siege experts as reinforcements no matter how far away your unit is. So they're basically a tribe of specialized sappers. I don't really know what use a tribe would have for tunneling. Maybe it's because there's a big mine right here, like they're just a tribe of miners. I can't tell you. In addition, if we appease these tribes enough, we can actually assimilate them into our own populations. Basically, we take on the population, and we also take on the leaders as retainers, and that means that we lose the cool buff that these tribes give us, unfortunately. So these guys are mercenaries. When fighting on land, they will send a group of skilled warriors as reinforcements no matter how far away your unit is. So those guys are quite important as well. We actually have a lot of tribes around us right now. The next thing we want to do is survey. Basically, you can survey the lands around your towns by assigning a certain retainer. We're going to send Itagaki to survey around Sutsu, and this will allow us to discover all the resources and secret paths and everything around our lands. And we'll do that with Nakano as well. We'll send Mitsuyori, ta-da! And once he's discovered something, of course, he will go, ta-da! Okay, so that's going to cost us 300 gold as well. Expect great things. We will. We'll expect a lot there. Ta-da! Now, Fuji Yoshida, we can send... Oh my god, look at this. Takatoshi Yakoda, we'll send him to survey as well. There we go. Now, that's pretty much... Oh man, this is really interesting as well. You can entice enemy clan officers to join your clan. If the enemy clan isn't treating their officers very well, they will get upset, and then you can send an agent to whisper in their ear in secret, and eventually you can convince them to join you. But likewise, if your officers are upset, an enemy clan might get them to betray you as well. So that's very interesting. Anyway, so this is all civic development. In addition, we have a different tab for military matters. Obviously, we're not going to war right now. This is the very opening stages. We want to develop and do some diplomacy and stuff like that. So the next thing we need to do is actually end our turn. So our council is over, and now we're in the active mode. But while in the active mode, we can watch our orders play out. We are actually upgrading the agricultural district near Tsutsu, so you can see the crops are beginning to grow. We're raking up all the field stones and dead logs and all sorts of crap and all this crappy land here, and just planting the ever-living shit out of this district. But we can also slow it down, and we can also pause this mode to issue battle orders. So if we see that an enemy army is marching, we can then pause it and send an order to intercept, and then we can just speed right the hell through our turn, which we have done. And now we receive some reports.
Here's last month's balance.
Here is our income report. We're not doing too bad. Total income of 1,900, total expense of 2,100. Most of that is due to investigation, aka those surveys and covert operations, etc. Development. Not a big deal. Looks like Tada has discovered a secret path near Nakano. I don't really know what secret paths do. Itagaki found a hidden path in a pile of lumber, I guess, just a big pile of lumber around Sutsu. And Jokin has appeased the Yunoko tribe. Very nice. What else has happened? It looks like those two officers arrived at the castles, and everything's going great. It looks like some buildings got built. Alright, so we now have 8 labor again. We've discovered everything there is to discover around these lands. In the same way that we survey our lands, we can scout enemy lands. We just have to send an agent. I want to show you guys the districts, though, so we'll click this to add facilities. Basically, every district has facilities and possibly resources. For example, this agricultural district has a commons, which we can upgrade into any of these things. And our district is really not that great at growing crops. It's got an agricultural aptitude of D, and that's another thing. When you see like rankings like A, B, C, D in a game, you know it's a Japanese game. Especially if there's like S rank or stuff like that. That's a Japanese game right off the bat. So our district has a D rank at growing food, so we need to upgrade a bit just to make sure our crops grow as best they can. Basically, it will increase the amount of maximum crops we can grow. If I were to build canals, that would make the district suitable for crops. Something else I should point out right away, if we look at this, you can see that there are 4 open districts that we've got built, and then there's just like 5 or 6 more that are not. So we can eventually develop those. But you can also see that the districts are connected to each other. We have an agricultural district connected to a military district, connected to a financial district, connected to a agricultural district, and vice versa, yada yada. If we look at the facilities, we can see that some of these actually affect adjacent districts, so there's a bit of strategy there as well when you place your districts, but none of these really are too helpful for us. We can get extra gold, suitable for crops, lowers innovation. I think innovation is like, if you're traditional, you have lower innovation. If you're non-traditional, you have higher innovation. So you can enact policies later, and what policies you can enact is dependent on how traditional you are, essentially. Hunting ground increases attack power of units from this base. We want to build canals just so our district is better at growing food in the long run. We don't want to get Komai to do this because we need him to act as overseer. He cannot act as overseer and build this building at the same time. So instead, we'll get Itagaki on it. He's a renowned canal digger. We should get this tribe over here to dig some fucking tunnels, but of course they will not. And there he goes. You can hear him running off into the distance. He's just fucking nuts. He's gonna go build that district. Build that district up. In addition to, like I said, certain buildings in each district, every commercial district has fair. Every agricultural district has commons, and every military district has a building that's called the workshop. Ours hasn't appeared yet because we haven't actually upgraded the district enough. But also, there are resources. For example, this one is a speciality, which is just a random resource. But we also discovered lumber around Tsutsu, I believe. Where it is? Oh, it's right here. Lumber allows adding a lumber mill to agricultural districts. You can also find like horses and stuff like that. For example, near Nakano Castle, we have horses in our military district, which is very nice. So that's why we surveyed, so we can find these things. There's a vein in this one. You also survey to find gold mines, which provide 500 gold per turn, so that's not bad. Okay, so we've got some development going on in Tsutsu, but we want to develop our stuff even further. So Kamaya is saying develop crops again. We shall do. And then we can develop, I'm going to say Fuji because it is nearest to the Hojo. We don't want Obu to be the overseer though because he's inept, so instead we'll send Baba. Baba says that we should increase rice as well because he knows what he's talking about. Obu does not, Baba does. So look at that, he's got a massive boost there. And that means we are now out of labor. So instead we can do a bit more diplomacy or appease some more tribes. I think our agent Jokin is still... No, she's not. Okay, so we'll get her to appease the Yonoku yet again. There she goes. Another 300 gold down the drain. And actually, we might appease some of these other tribes as well. Especially the Nirasaki, because they're mercenaries and right next to our capital, so it's a bit of a problem. We'll spend 300 gold, we'll send Tada out, he can amaze them with some, I don't know, some magic tricks or something, and then they'll just fucking totally love us. So there we go, we'll confirm that. There goes Tada. And I think that's pretty much it for this turn. In addition, there's this province system. What it looks to me like is you can, once you capture enough lands, you can actually create provinces, which are just regions that you can automate, basically. You can set a retainer/officer to run the province, which is very interesting. So if you capture enough territory, you don't actually have to worry about it at all. And from the looks of it, this map is really massive. Can you imagine having to manage every one of your castles as we are doing right now? No, that's just fucking nuts. So like I said, I think that's it for this turn, so we may as well end it yet again. It is now going to be August, but we may as well zoom into Tsutsu and watch our castle develop. Look at that, we're building the canals, and boom, they're done. It didn't take Taki very long to build those canals, I tell you that.
Here's last month's balance.
We are still 400 gold short, but most of that is because we spent cash on those canals, 1,000 gold. Yonoku tribe supports us, Nirasaki tribe supports us, great. Basically, we just need some more support than any other clan. For example, the Yuseji have 5% in the Nirasaki clan. And then Yunoku, the Imagawa, have 6%. So we have no trouble with support. But the problem is when these clans begin sending more agents to combat our support, you can see that there's kind of like a tug-of-war going on between these clans. Okay, so not only are we developing our territories, but every other clan is developing theirs as well. So, we really need to stay ahead of the game and just keep developing. And having the best overseers in position to do so, obviously a good idea. So we'll keep developing our cities here. We want to change the overseer in Nakana to Toriyasu Amari. There we go. Very good. He is a much better overseer. Again, advising that we increase crops. We'll go to Fuju Yoshida, and he is saying much the same. We're just getting a huge amount of crops. Ridiculous. I'm not actually sure how to see how much supplies you make. I think you only reap the supplies in fall when the harvest comes in. Gold comes per turn. Like I said, you reap the harvest in the fall. I don't know when you receive horses. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we have to develop that resource. But anyway, we may as well take a look at our base, our towns here. For example, Sutsu has a population of 21,000, nearly 22,000, and it increases by 17 people per month. And there's all sorts of things you can do to increase the population growth. None of it is readily accessible by us. We have a popularity of 65. Basically, this is a morale system, so certain things will lower your morale, like if, the town is attacked. If buildings are razed, the morale will drop, and once it reaches 40, then the town will begin to rebel. So you need to be aware of that. We can also see up here we have a max militia number and also a max troop number. Basically, militia are untrained troops, and they're affected by population and popularity, whereas max troops is affected by conscripts, and there's stuff you can do that will increase your trained soldiers but will reduce your untrained, so you kind of have to play a balance between numbers and quality over quantity. But if we were to develop conscripts, obviously we would get more troops. But if we look here, we have soldiers. That's the maximum amount of soldiers, these two numbers combined, that we can get. And that's pretty much it. We should also look at our quests, I suppose. We have peace with Suwa. So once we bring this, the reliance of Suwa to 60, we will then... Nobutora Takeda will gain the diplomat trait. Apparently characters can have up to 20 traits, which will affect how they play. Once again, very fucking complex, as well as those attributes that we were looking at earlier. In addition, we will form a near-permanent alliance with the Suwa clan. We should actually take a look at our diplomacy here. We're at 25. We're increasing diplomacy by 12 and 13 every turn, so a few more months now until that quest is complete. We can continue to appease tribes. The Kami tribe, again, probably a good choice because they're on our borders and they're a mercenary tribe. So we have 2 labor left over that we can't actually use, it seems, and that's just fine. It looks like the trader is here, so this guy shows up every couple of months, so you can buy resources and sell supplies, it seems. And we will not do for now. He also has like these weird items, which I assume you can give to your officers and retainers and increase their loyalty in certain things in certain ways. We're not really interested in this at this particular juncture. In addition to that trader, eventually Christianity will arrive, and the Western powers will arrive, so you can trade with them, and then you'll get rifles, etc., etc., and they'll start in Satsuma and kind of expand from there. So again, something you have to be aware of. So that's the trader. We can enact policies, and we may as well do.
Let us enact a
so here's the innovation thing I was talking about. Right now we're conservative. We could be neutral, and we could be progressive, but we're not. But basically, this just determines what policies we can enact. Probably it affects some other stuff as well. I don't really know. We may as well enact improve labor. That will cost us 200 gold per month. But it will also increase our labor from 8 to 12, and it will lower our troops, though. But that's just fine. We don't plan to go to war anytime soon. So this is a great policy for us. We could assimilate some of these tribes if we really wanted to, but we're not worried about that. You can see here we can do all sorts of stuff with our officers just to increase their leadership, get them married, give them treasures and items, and also appoint them castles, which is pretty cool. We may as well end the turn, hit up September, and reap the harvest. You know, bring in the rice, because it is going to be autumn. And there's actually some really neat seasonal effects in the game. It looks like Nakano has grown, so we get a commons, which we can upgrade, and boom, it's autumn. Okay, so the council has begun. We're raking in the cash now that we are building so much stuff, but that's not going to last long. Okay, we have harvested some rice. We've gained 5,000 provisions. Looks like that agricultural development has paid off. Joaquin continues to appease the Khmer tribe. Joaquin Phoenix has appeased the Khmer tribe. Okay, so now we have 12 labor due to our policy. We can actually upgrade our castles. This is another really cool feature. Not only can you upgrade the towns themselves, but you can also upgrade the castle. So, for example, here we can upgrade the Tenshu, the keep, the gate, the walls, the bailey, which is not displayed, and a turret, and then an enclosure as well as a castle facility. Neither of these are open right now. Up in the right, you can see we have a space meter, which determines what levels of buildings we can build. So if I click Tenshu, right now we have a Yakata, which is pretty much just a house, it looks like. But then we can build a 2-story Tenshu, which has a space value of 2. You can see in the right here, a space value of 2, and you can see the meter increasing here. So you have to pick and choose what upgrades to give to your castles, which is very interesting. We're not going to build that right now. Instead, we will upgrade the walls themselves. That would be great, wouldn't it? Which will increase the HP and make advanced upgrades possible. Again, I think HP is like when you get besieged, it ticks down over time. So that's going to cost us 1,500 gold. We have more than enough. We have enough space. We have enough labor. Boom. We're going to upgrade our walls to stone. Itagaki is going to take care of it because Komai is going to be overseeing some civil development. There we go. And he's asking for soldiers. Boom. Which will increase our max soldiers by quite a bit. Not bad at all. Nakano, likewise, they're asking for soldiers. We've got 3 labor left over. We may as well do something else here. We can actually improve the roads as well between our castles. So all of these red roads here, they run through plains, so they have a max level of 5. All these green ones, they run through mountains, so they have a max level of 3. And obviously, the higher the level, the quicker and better your troops move, etc. It will also increase your population growth amongst other things. So you can already see that moving around in plains is much easier. That's actually represented in-game. Who'da thunk? So we're going to start work on this road here, which is Ubaguchi to Itsutsu Jigasaki. We'll increase it to level... whoops, I did not mean to do that. We can increase it to level 3, and that will cost 400 gold as well as 3 labor. But then we can also increase it to level 5. And we won't do that. We'll just increase it to level 3 for now. And we'll get Yokota on that one. He looks like a good road builder. He looks very weathered. He's seen many a road. So he can probably properly mimic the road building techniques of far superior peoples in like Western Japan or something near the actual heart of the island. We are still conducting diplomacy with the Suwa clan. Perfect. We can continue to appease some of these tribes. Our support has fallen a little bit in both of these places. Not a big deal. We'll get the Khmers to be a little bit happier when we send out Joaquin Phoenix over here. That's great. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to show you guys battle because I don't know how to jump into a battle, save for on a campaign. I don't think there's a custom battle option. I haven't found it yet. Perhaps I'm blind, which by all means is a possibility. But like I said, it seems like the majority of your gameplay is on the campaign, and the battle gameplay is not truly stellar, so I don't feel too bad in not showing you guys that right now. But I think I might make this a mini-series on my channel if everyone's interested enough, so if you really want to see battle, just stick around for those new people out there searching for this game, and we'll eventually get to a battle, I'm sure. I think that's pretty much all we want to do this turn as well, so we'll end it again. And as usual, we'll zoom down to Itsutsu and watch some stuff upgrade. Okay, so Takeda is saying, since I've talked up Suo clan, we can now request reinforcements. Want me to continue diplomacy? Yes, of course. Okay, so the military district has been upgraded enough. A workshop has appeared, meaning that we can build buildings there as well, like we did with the commons in the agricultural district, the commons/canals. Looks like we spent a huge amount of money on infrastructure, the walls and the roads, so we're a little bit low on income this turn. Okay, so Joaquin Phoenix has appeased the Khamid tribe, and her training has paid off, so she's getting stronger by the day. Her attributes have grown. I wish to be more useful to you, my liege. Be less creepy, would you please, Joaquin Phoenix? Can you imagine you're in your little house made of paper or whatever, and she slides open the door, and that's all she says. I wish to be more useful to you, my liege, with that creepy dead-eye stare. I would not be into it, probably, by all means. Okay, so we've upgraded our district. We now have a workshop, so we can build some new stuff there. But instead, I think what I will do is I will show you guys outposts. You can use labor to fortify these points along the roads, and my understanding is they will become like little fortified roadblocks. So when the enemy comes to march on your homeland, for example, like this road between us and the Hojo, or this road between us and the Imagawa, they will then have to fight their way through these roadblocks before they get to us. And as I said, that costs labor, which we do not have. We only have 7 labor because I believe our road construction is still underway, or is it perhaps the walls? It's hard to tell sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, the earthen walls are still being constructed, still being upgraded into stone walls. That's why we are short on labor. So instead, we'll just check out the facilities, I suppose. We can check the facilities of our military district. Joke's on you guys, because we actually can't. We can't check the facility in the military district because it is not developed enough. We can, however, take a look at the agricultural district, and we can see that the agricultural aptitude is now B. So we can grow ever-growing levels of crops, which is very nice. Instead of doing any of that stuff, we'll probably just develop these towns. More soldiers, great. We're ramping up for war, thanks to our overseers. Sutsu, again, asking for more soldiers. Very well. Now we have 1 labor left over, of which we can't really do anything. How's diplomacy? We're at level 48 now, so next turn... Nope. The next 2 turns will have enough influence with these guys to get an alliance. Speaking of alliances, I should say, you can see this green land over here. It's green because it's primarily controlled by clans that we can call our allies. The Yuseji, Yamauchi Yuseji are our allies, as well as the Ogigaya Yuseji. I suppose these are cadet branches of the Yuseji clan. Not sure. Oh my god, look at this guy. Gap-Tooth McGintyre over here. Inquisitive Bean. And also all of these guys. Sphere of Influence, starring stern-looking Japanese man of the Pneumatic clan. We are not allied with these guys, but if we're to open diplomacy, we can see that we share a common ally, Yamauchi Yuseji. You can see when we mouse over clans, all these green arrows. I think this displays all the allies of that clan, so you can see that we actually have 2 allies, the Ogigaya Yuseji and of course the Yamauchi Yuseji. In addition, if we look at other clans, you can see they've got a number, which we've been over, that's trust, but also a blue word. Blue basically means that this clan is open to negotiations, they're friendly. Yellow, as in this here, just means they're neutral, neither hostile nor interested. But if we go down to Hojo, you can see it's red, so they're hostile. They want nothing to do with us, whereas the Imagawa are just kind of like, meh, could do without. I don't really know what it means when they're grayed out like this. Possibly they're like a vassal clan we can't open diplomacy with, not sure. If we give a gift to people, this will raise their opinion, so we might be able to open diplomacy with them. So for example, if we're facing a hostile clan, we can then give them gold and they may be friendly or whatever. So it's saying we should give some treasure to someone, but I don't really think we want to do any of that. fuck it. We're not interested in that. We can continue appeasing tribes. Joaquin Phoenix is going to be all over it. She's going to go to the Nirasaki tribe again. They're going to remember her. They're going to welcome her with open arms. Hey, come on in. Have some tea, would you? And then that's about it. We can still
What would you like?
trade with this guy. He doesn't have anything of interest, actually. We could sell a bunch of rice, but it seems that autumn is a terrible time to do it. Who'd have thunk the harvest has just come in and everyone's got fucking rice coming out of their ears. Actually, let's look at that again.
What would you like?
Yeah, see, when we were in summer, the price was a little bit higher. We actually got an equal price for our grain, so we're not going to sell that now. But that's a quick way to boost your income, is just to sell off a bunch of supplies. But we have to make sure that we have enough for when we, declare war. Okay, a messenger has come from Kiso clan. Will you grant him audience? Sure. Could I ask that you form an alliance with us and aid us? Who are you, first of all? That's what I want to know. I don't really... No. We're not interested in allying with people we have no idea who they are. Oh.
Let us
I just
begin
spotted the
meeting.
Kiso Fukushima up
Here's
in the
last month's balance.
northwest. Okay, so we are currently raking in more cash due to our mines. Very
Reporting
nice.
in.
Nirasaki tribe supports us. I only wanted to help you further, my lord. Okay, so here are the Kiso Fukushima. They have... Oh my good golly, look how close we are zoomed in. This is max zoom, everyone. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're looking at the castle of Kiso Fukushima. It looks fucking nuts. I would hate to besiege this, and in fact, having played Shogun 2, I can tell you that besieging this shit is annoying as hell. Can you imagine coming in the gate and then you've got, like... Look at these stairs, my god. You've got just a huge amount of stairs to go up. Actually, this castle looks more nightmarish than anything I ever besieged in Shogun 2. Okay. We don't want an alliance with that guy right now because, I mean, look how far away he is. Do we need an alliance with someone way the hell over there? These guys are pleased with us. Why would we need an ally all the way over here? I suppose we're going to ally with Suwa, so it only makes sense to get some allies in this region. Okay, so we finally finished the walls in Sutsu, and now you can see we actually have stone walls. I mean, look at our castle compared to the Kiso Fukushima castle. This is much easier to assault. So we'll probably take another look at that. Apparently we can build some castle facilities eventually. Basically, they act as facilities in your districts, but they influence your population growth and all sorts of stuff. So we actually have an enclosure now, which means we can annex something, I guess. Or is this like a little offshoot, a little tumor of a castle on our castle? We don't want that, I don't think. We probably don't actually need to upgrade our castle right now. We can continue to develop our districts. He's talking about gold, so we may as well do upgrade our facilities. You know what we should do? We'll take a look at the facilities, actually. Can we upgrade? No, we can only upgrade the agricultural district. I don't know what this means. Does this button being lit up, does that mean we can build another common, or does that mean we would then revert our canals to commons? I don't know. Hard to say. I'm too scared to do anything. I'm too scared, everyone. So instead what we'll do is we'll just continue developing our soldiers in Nakano, and most likely soldiers as well in Fuji, Yakushima, and then we can upgrade our roads even further. So we'll upgrade these two roads as well, and we will get Itagaki on it. No, you know what? We'll get our good friend, that old bastard again. We'll get him on it because he has, like I said, all sorts of experience with roads. Yokota, he's on it. Okay. Boom. Toyota Yokota. Alright, I think, again, that's pretty much it for this turn. Oh, we can improve roads even further. You know what we'll do? We'll do this road so we can get to Nakano even quicker. We'll send Itagaki. We may as well. Why not? Boom. We can trade because apparently this guy has brought some items. A teapot. I don't know what any of this is for, so I'm not going to bother at the moment. And we can continue to appease some tribes, and we can even appease the Nanasawa tribe over by the Hojo lands. Why would we do this, though? Who are the Yanasawa, or whatever their name was? Nanasawa. Why would we want to support you guys? Based on number of controlled tribes, with carpentry construction time is reduced. Interesting. Very interesting. Unfortunately, that is the only tribe with construction, so we would get not a whole lot of payoff with that, I don't think. Do we want to absorb any of these tribes? I'm not sure. It is currently November, and there is, again, not much to do, so we will end our turn. So we're spending a lot of time... Oh, okay, there we go. We finally completed our quest to bring Suwa Clan's reliance to 60. Great. Now we can broker some sort of alliance with these guys. We're going to have like a long-standing alliance due to our quest. And we can band together against the Hojo and the Imagawa. Look at this. We upgraded our roads, so you can actually see this one's wider than this one. Very nice. Nubatori Takeda says, I've gained the diplomat trait. Next step, unification. He's very gung-ho, isn't he? Oh, fuck, we've got a cutscene. After the death of the great ruler Ujichika Imagawa, who had played a large role in the growth of the Imagawa clan, he was replaced by the young Ujitaro Imagawa. Unlike Ujichika, Ujitaro was not fit to rule the clan, and due to the fact that he was prone to falling sick, his mother, Jukeni, sometimes called the female daimyo, advised him in political matters. Look at her, she's not bad looking. She's probably like goddamn 55 years old, if experience is to say anything. Ujitaro died mysteriously, which led to his younger brothers. Ooh, too spooky for me, everyone. Ujitaro died mysteriously. He was found at the bottom of a well or something, possibly, which led to his two younger brothers, who had left to train as Buddhist priests, to fight over who would inherit the clan. Those two brothers were Eten Gekko, Yoshitsane Imagawa, and Shoho Bagaku. Perhaps this is the common name / true name thing. So it's Yoshitsane Imagawa and also Yoshimoto Imagawa. Okay. Yoshimoto Imagawa. Ha ha ha. Could you be any creepier, like right off the get-go? When you got like a ha 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 followed by ellipses, you know it's a sinister fucking laugh. Okay, Sesai Taigen says, what are you laughing about? Surely you don't believe you have won this battle. No, it's not that. But when I think about all the people involved in this ugly feud, I can't help but laugh. Nijuki, our mom. Oh, what do you mean? We have Sesai Taigen, my master, Jukeni, my mother, Eten Gekko, my brother, and Yoshimoto Imagawa, myself. All of us are in the service of the Buddha, and yet look at us quibbling about a worldly matter like the succession of the clan. What times these are. Do you not find it amusing? Oh, I see. He's just musing over the irony of religious people fighting and feuding over the leadership of the clan. Lord Yoshimoto, you would do well to keep one thing in mind. What's this? A lecture? This guy seems like a young asshole, I can tell you that right off the bat. No matter how chaotic the world may be, the teaching of the Buddha are the truth. However, there are no Buddhas in this age of war. Very true. So that means there are none but demons here. Sesai Taigen, laying down the lessons. Learn from the Buddha, but do not let yourself become a Buddha. But what does that even mean? I see then, I suppose I will have to become a demon and win no matter what it takes. Yoshimoto had two talented guardians watching over him, Jukeni and Sesai, so I guess Yoshimoto is looking to rule the clan. On the other hand, Yoshitsane had the support of the chief Imagawa retainers and the Fukushima clan. However, Yoshimoto was the son of his father's legal wife, Jukeni, whereas Yoshitsane, despite being the older brother, was the son of a concubine. Therefore, Yoshimoto had the upper hand in the dispute, obviously. Of course he does, because he's the asshole. The asshole always ends up winning in these sorts of things. Oh my, the zooming is out of control. Okay, after years of repeated bouts of war and peace with the Imagawa clan, Nobutora Takeda wasn't about to let the inheritance feud pass him by. Will we make an ally of Yoshimoto Imagawa or Yoshitsane Imagawa, my lord? Yoshimoto, the rightful heir, of course. The boy sprung from the womb of that sly Jukeni. We're going to make him owe us a favor while we still can. Oh, I can just see the look on Ujitsuna's face when the Imagawa become our allies. ... Nobukuda Itagaki being extremely suspicious of our daimyo. Toriyasu Amari, on the other hand, an excellent plan, my lord, just completely licking my ass. Isn't it? Well, I'm counting on you, Nobukata. Aye, my lord. But in the shadows, he's thinking to himself, if we join with the Imagawa, we'll be able to limit the Hojo's movements. Yet, should we truly be fighting the Hojo? Should we truly make the people suffer more than they have already? I don't know, Itagaki. I do not know. Whoop! Again, a huge zoom, a fucking smash zoom to our lands. And we have a new quest, Hanakira Revolt. I don't know what that is. I have not seen that. The Imagawa clan, ruling the neighboring Suruga, was locked in an inheritance struggle. Betting on Yoshimoto, Imagawa, Nobutora showed his support. Okay, we'll proceed with this quest. Bring the Imagawa's clan trust to 100. Oh my god. It's gonna take a freaking coon's age to get that going. Okay, so all sorts of stuff has happened, and it's now winter. It's now December of 1534 or whatever the hell it is. We're slowly losing money. Kumai has grown in experience. And I think it's about time I wrap this up. This is a pretty long video, and I think you can see how complex this game can be at times. I haven't even shown you like half the features. We haven't stolen any agents. We haven't done any warring. We haven't done any of this province stuff or any of the innovation or any of that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about this game. It's nice to see a strategy game where you can actually develop your lands at such a micro scale, and then when you zoom out, it's just a massive amount of macro. That's very, very cool to me. So everyone, this has been Sphere of Influence. I think I'm going to end it here. If you're at all interested in seeing more of this game, please leave a like, leave a comment to that effect, and I will get on it. I think I'll make a mini-series of this, 5 or 6 episodes, just to gauge some interest. Maybe if it's popular enough, it can be a running series. But anyway, everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Showcase, and I hope to see you guys next episode.